So this might surprise you, but I really feel like what I'm about to tell you in this video is probably the most important thing you can possibly consider when it comes to not just weight loss success and results in general, but your overall happiness. We always get so caught up in what should I do physically? What exact food should I eat? What should my macros be? How much cardio should I do? What should my training look like? But honestly, what's more important than anything is how you look at this process from a whole mentally. The problem so many people have, whether they're in a cutting phase or a building phase or reverse diet phase, no matter what it is, they're always looking at the opposite of what they're trying to accomplish instead of focusing on the positives of what they're doing in that phase. It's this grass is always greener mentality. The thing is, there's positives and negatives to all phases, so you need to focus your attention on those positives instead of always wishing that things were different. For instance, in a reverse dieting phase, there's so many benefits to this. Way more benefits than there are in a cutting phase. You get to enjoy more food, more balance and flexibility. You'll have more energy, better recovery, better strength and performance in the gym. You'll build more muscle, improve your metabolism, on and on and on. But instead of actually enjoying those things, you get so caught up in wishing that you were losing weight right now. And what this does is it makes you feel miserable the whole time rather than enjoying all these positive things. Then ironically, as soon as you start your cutting phase, what do you miss? What do you focus your attention on? Now you wish you could eat more food. You hate that you're so hungry. You hate that you don't have much energy. Basically, all the things that you should have been focusing on during the reverse, now you want them. And let's be honest, there aren't a whole lot of benefits outside of improving body composition during a cut. Anyway, the problem with this thought process is you're just never going to be happy. You're always going to be miserable because you're always focusing all your attention on the opposite of what the focus of your phase is. Even more than that, if you're always miserable and constantly struggling mentally, how are you going to stick to the plan? And if you don't stick to the plan well, you're not going to get very good results. This will only make you that much more unhappy and more likely to give up altogether. One thing you need to understand is there is no happy ending to an unhappy journey. If you're miserable the whole time, even if you get there, which is probably not very likely if you're always struggling mentally, but even if you get there, the chances of you being happy once you're there are very low, and chances are you'll just kind of go back to the way things were, and we all know how that ends. So you need to focus on the positives of whatever phase you're in. Not only that, but you have to stop putting so much pressure on the speed of results you want. Seriously, lack of patience is probably the number one reason why so many people give up. You would be so much happier if you just chilled out, stopped putting so much pressure on getting super fast results, focused on enjoying the process, and just let the results happen in the time that they're going to happen. You have the rest of your life ahead of you. Like, you're gonna have to do this stuff forever. I hate to tell you, there's no giving up. You can never be done. That doesn't mean you always have to be low calorie, you always have to crush yourself with exercise. No, you can and should eventually back off, but you're always gonna have to make this lifestyle a priority if you wanna keep your results. You can't just go back to the way things were. If you do, you just gain the weight back and then some, which means you have to accept this is a lifestyle, and this whole it's not worth the effort mentality has to go. I can promise you, there's always going to be times where it doesn't feel like it's worth the effort, but you have to push through that. And if you know you're going to spend the rest of your life doing this stuff, what's the rush? Especially considering rushing the process is the very thing that keeps you stuck. I'm telling you, it's so important to live in the now and not always be chasing something. Like, we get so caught up in, well, I used to be further ahead. I gave up and I lost all my progress. I need to get it back to where I used to be. Or you look to the future and you think, well, I need to be here and I'm not there yet. And you feel miserable because of it because you're not happy that you're not where you want to be. So if you're starting over or you're not where you used to be, forget it, let it go. That's done, that's gone, that's in the past. That person's gone and not coming back. It doesn't matter where you used to be. You can't control the past. There's nothing you can do to change what's happened, but you always have control over what you're gonna do now and moving forward. So make sure you appreciate the progress you make from right now moving forward, regardless of where you used to be. If you do this, you'll enjoy the progress you make, and that will make you excited and you'll be able to actually enjoy the process. Whereas if you're always focused on the past, now you're unhappy. Now you wish things were different. And if you're in such a bad spot mentally, it's that much less likely for you to stick it out and keep getting better results. It goes from, I used to be so much further ahead, to, hell yes, I'm improving. Which one's gonna lead to better results and more happiness? And just like you shouldn't chase the past, don't get so caught up in the future either. Don't worry so much about, I want to be here and I'm not there yet. Don't get me wrong, I love the drive to want to get better, to want to improve. That's a fantastic attitude to have, but you have to understand, even when you get there, that's not going to be the thing that makes you happy. Yeah, you'll be happy when you see what you want to see or get what you want to get, but that's not going to last. It might last a day, it might last a week if you're really lucky, but then you're eventually just going to be left with, well, now what? Sure, maybe you make some new goals, which is great, but then now you're right back to, well, I want to be at that goal and I'm not there yet, and now you're still miserable. And it's going to be so much harder of a process if you think like that. The mental side of this process is so dramatically overlooked. I can't even state how much we need to focus more attention on this. Truth be told, it's the mental changes that bring the physical changes you're after. And if you think about it, the stuff that truly changes you, and I mean to the core, it's not the stuff that comes easy, it's the challenges, it's the perseverance, it's getting through the hard times, it's not giving up when everything in you said, it's not worth it, I should give up, but you don't and you get through it. That's what changes you. You literally have to struggle to grow. There is no growth without it. Nothing in life worth having ever comes easy. When have you ever been proud of anything that came easy to you? You're not. It's the difficult stuff you went through that grew your confidence. So remember that. Remember that when you're in the depth of despair and you're struggling hard and you feel like it's not worth it. Why is life so hard? Why is this happening to me? Understand that it's an opportunity to grow stronger. If you look at it as a potential blessing in disguise in the long run, that's going to make it easier to handle. If you look at it as oh, here we go again, or why is this always happening to me? That's just, it's a really difficult thing to come back from. And it's never the circumstance that makes or breaks whether somebody makes it or not. It's not the circumstance that causes the failure. It's how you choose to respond to that circumstance. Gut it out and get through it, you'll grow stronger. Allow it to be your reason why you can't, you'll actually grow weaker. You really will. And it's a choice. I'm not saying it's easy, but I've already talked about what easy really means. So make yourself proud. Change the way you look at things and you'll get where you want to be. Happy, healthy, and proud. Now, for more tips on how to create a better mindset, how to create a healthy, happy relationship with the process and get better weight loss and better results in general, make sure you check out this top video next, and I'll help you get over some of these mental hurdles you have. If there's anything I can do for you, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.